What's the deal, y'all? What's the deal, y'all? What's the deal, y'all? We're Sharper Tapping in TNN Trap News Network. Back in the same, like cracking the same here at TNN Trap News Network. It's that good news shit. Use! It's that good knowledge, though. You're not finna get in the mic, college, big dog. Tap in with the tap in to make sure you're in fact tapped in with that good. Tap in. Hit us with a like, with a comment, with a good subscribe. Everything we got going on here at TNN Trap News Network. It's that news you can use, that knowledge you ain't finna get in nobody's college, big dog. Tap in with the tap in. Make sure you're in fact tapped in with that tap in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell here. All stay tapped in for the latest and the greatest of what's going on here at TNN Trap News Network. Now, Rich Trapper and Ash Bash, myself and Ash Bashington, we have been fired from the A Day in LA podcast, man. From the A Day in LA podcast. Let me take y'all to the group chat real quick. This is Dejon. Good evening. I've decided to do tomorrow's Hellcat interview without you two. While I love drama, I don't want to have a big blow up in front of a guest. That should be done on the episode without a guest. Production can't film next Wednesday, and I asked to do next Tuesday, the 18th instead. So this is him right there. Right there. It's all there in the group chat. And then so this is where the accountability comes in at. Dejon doesn't care for it. Now, before we get into any of this, I think A Day in LA can be an extremely successful podcast. Extremely successful. I think that certain things have to be tweaked and managed a little bit better, but I do not think that this is something that he should give up on, with or without me or Ash Bash. I think he should continue. I don't wish Dejon anything outside of outwardly success. But again, you can't fire somebody that you wasn't paying, big dog. And that's ultimately where, little things come into effect. But we'll get to that. You want to model yourself after people like Adam22. Adam pays his employees. You feel me? This man said, you and Ash Bash, well, you guys can split the super chats. Bro, I got you monetized in 2 or 3 weeks. You was doing this for 5 years, no monetization, big dog. 5 years, no monetization. I came in, I seen something I believed in, got you right in 2 weeks, but I digress. I say, this is 100% in your control. A blow-up will be a direct result of you being messy. Dejon, a blow-up will be a direct result of you being messy. Because I've been telling this man all week, leave Ash Bash alone, bro. Yeah, she late. Yeah, she fell asleep. Yeah, Ash Bash could be more professional. Not taking that from it. However, the way you're going about it, terrible. Terrible. So we could go through this, but let's get to the good part. Because Dejon made a little comment, and he was like, yeah, I have to deal with people saying, what did he say? Still, I look past all the personal ish that has nothing to do with me and dealt with the harassment. Hold on, he said something, because I was finna fire Dejon up. He might have had to go to the back. Even when the chat comments consistently saying, fire you and telling me I'm co-signing an abuser, I'm promoting domestic violence X, Y, and Z. I still look past all that personal ish, has nothing to do with me, and dealt with the harassment, emails, and DMs about a situation that has nothing to do with me. I said, looks like we in the same boat, my boy. I'm not bringing it up as in a situation that has nothing to do with it. You making a stupid ass point, because the point that I'm making is Dejon has no accountability for being messy to his co-host, and that's why you're creating a hostile situation where you are afraid to directly deal with Ash Bash because you've been directly talking trash about her on the internet, and when you see her on Tuesday, she's gonna have something to say about it. It's unnecessary conflict. You created an unnecessary conflict within your own workspace, which you accused T-Rell of doing with the constant gay bashing or FNW, which you accused Adam22 of doing over at No Jumper and all that. You're now doing with Ash Bash. You don't now want to deal with her directly because you're afraid of the consequences that come with this young lady, because you've been, she's making black women look bad, and she's this and all that. Yeah, Ash Bash was late. We're not going to take that from her. Yeah, but Ash Bash is also a single mother working multiple jobs to make sure that her children have the best of everything, and still managing to find time to do your podcast for free because you can't afford to pay a staff. That's why your shit was on Media Spill for X amount of years, because you couldn't afford to pay your production team. And the reason why you couldn't afford to pay your production team, because you ain't really getting no chili like that off A Day in LA. And that's cool. I seen a space to get chili. So through Trap News Network, I've showed you not only how to monetize, but how to enhance monetization. Little tips and tricks. That's a fact. Dejon has been doing A Day in LA for 5 years. It has not been monetized. Rich Trapper's been on there for the better part of maybe 2 months, 3 months. You're monetized. In addition to me giving him also little tricks. Hey, do it like this. Hey, do it like that. Hey, handle it like this. Hey, handle it like that. To make sure the monetization stays where it needs to stay. You feel me? But that's neither here nor there neither. So Hold on, let me park real quick because I'm about to fire Dejon up, and this is where it gets kind of tricky. Mind you, you guys remember how that first conversation starts. Dejon does change his tone. Let me park up real quick. Boom. All right, bow. So, I says, look like we in the same poem, my boy. The difference is I'm not bringing it up in a situation that has nothing to do with it to make a stupid-ass point. He says a point nonetheless. And I said, I ain't never seen a nigga keep full custody and beat the bitch. You can say whatever you want about regurgitating Flacco's jargon. And shout out to We Starving, because we finna go ahead and drop that content soon, too. Flacco, for whatever reason, this is stupid, but if you know who We Starving is a dude dropping all the leaks for not FMW, for No Jumper. But me and him had an interesting conversation about Flacco trying to blackball me with fake information, fake paperwork. So I'll be dropping that soon too, but that's neither here nor there. I digress. I said, I ain't never seen a nigga keep full custody and beat the bitch. Because how I'm going to beat up anybody and keep full custody of my kid? Who have you ever seen in a domestic violence situation have full custody of the children if he's an aggressor or guilty of domestic violence? 1 to 1 don't equal 2. But this is where it goes. He goes, I'm done with letting y'all stress me out. I said, so if you're going to speak on my situation, speak on the entirety or stay the fuck out of my family dynamic. And this is where things turn up. Dejon goes, nigga, this is what he says. Nigga, I never said you did nothing. So that's Dejon outwardly and admitting, right there, Dejon Paul, outwardly and admitting, well, I never said you did nothing, then what you bring it up for? And now you're on your lives and all that, oh, well, blah, blah. Don't put that into the atmosphere, because here you are in your words, Dejon Paul. Nigga, I never said you did nothing. So we're going to kind of just leave that right there. Oh, no, I'll give you 2. I said my chat, my comments, my DMs, my emails were flooded asking you off the show because of allegations, and I still rock with you. Nah, that's what you say in front of me. Because you low-key scared that if you ever play with this, never mind. We ain't going to go there. What Dejon, this is where Dejon plays his master manipulation. Dejon wants to be a victim. Dejon wants to antagonize, bully, disrespect, ash bash, and other black women, and downput them, and degrade them, and trash talk them. And then when behind the scenes, I say things like, hey, you're doing too much. Hold on, let's show this. Let's show this. Because behind the scenes, I'll be telling them, like, bro, you're doing too much with Ash Bash. You're doing too much with Ash Bash. That's still our co-host. Sunday. Bro, leave that girl alone on God Sunday. Because you fucking with her. For what? Because you want her to go off, and then when she go off, it's, see, she's an angry black woman. Nope. You're the narcissistic, poor leader. Dejon might be a great boss. You're a bad leader. But that's also outlined in the text messages and all that. We won't get into that. What we gonna focus on, you can't fire somebody from a free position, big dog. You can't. You couldn't afford to keep your staff. You couldn't afford to keep a production crew. You have issues with your production crew because of payments or lack thereof. You're in breach of contract with Media Spill. You still owe them episodes and all that kind of stuff. You got a lot going on, big dog. You got a lot going on. It's episode 6. You're paying, I pay $150 an episode. That's it? You pay $150 an episode, that's it? It's not that much. You pay $150 an episode and you're crashing out right now and you're spiraling because that's accumulating to a little bit more than what you can afford. Maybe, if you hit up Adam, you can go back to No Jumper and you can get a No Jumper check, and then you can go ahead and be able to afford this a little bit more comfortably, and then you can get a staff that can afford the situation. You feel me? That's that. So I want you guys to continue to watch A Day in LA. He'll say, oh, that's because, let me throw this out here too. He was rude to Bo Jackman. Dejon wanted Bo Jackman to get marked out. Dejon wanted you to get marked out. It was made abundantly clear a bunch of times that I wasn't cool with you. Dejon has said out his own mouth recently, hey, Bo Jackman, if you don't want to take no issue with Rich Trapper, you should probably leave that alone. If all that's understood, the only reason that Dejon brought Bo Jackman onto the show was so Bo Jackman can get embarrassed. Bo Jackman, don't be upset with me. Be upset with Dejon. Because what I guarantee you is, your first episode, nobody watched. The second episode, Dejon tried to hide his lack of payment to his past production company with they keep messing up the episodes. Well, you're not paying them, Dejon. We didn't know that. Ash Bash didn't know that. We knew that we wasn't getting no chili off of it. But, hey, I believe in it. Ash Bash believe in it. Let's help this nigga out. You feel me? But, regardless of the fact, so, you know, again, we can't call it fired. I guess I lost my volunteer hours. That's cool. I lost my volunteer position. That's cool. But Bo Jackman, he brought you on to get marked out. Now, I'm not finna go into this whole concept of that's why you can't keep co-hosts. That's why don't nobody like you. That's why that's what they got going on. What I will say is, in my 6 episodes, however many episodes out of Day in LA, I got it monetized. I showed them how to increase the monetization, and we got the views and the ticks and the clicks up. That's my value, and I take that with me everywhere I go. I'm not finna go into the whole, when I see you, I'm gonna beat your ass, and blah, blah, blah. That's what Dejon wants. Dejon wants to be a victim. I've never seen a grown man want to be a victim. But this is a grown man who wants to be a victim, so we're gonna allow it. But I gotta go somewhere where monetization is a thing. I gotta go somewhere where payment is a thing. I gotta go somewhere where actual Chiliana is a thing. So, with that all being said, I'm about to pull up. I'm literally pulling up on my man trap. Hold on. As a matter of fact, hold on. Because I want y'all to see this. Hold on. Matter of fact, show y'all something real quick. Let me show y'all something real quick. Hold on. Let me take y'all with me real quick. Hold on. My guy. My nigga. So, look, somebody who got an actual bag for a nigga. You feel me? Somebody who got an actual bag for a nigga. I'm finna go do something that actually pays and makes money. We out of here, man. Free Avenue Angel till he's free.